Hi, I'm Karceno.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Karceno and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Woo! Yeah. A little jazzier on the intro. Added some little things to it. Yo, what's up? Oh, man. So tomorrow, or basically still today, later on in the day, like the afternoon, maybe evening, we will go over WrestleMania. Before Raw. Tomorrow we'll go over WrestleMania. For those who wanted to see, because people are like, Zeno, man, you gotta talk about WrestleMania. This is the best WrestleMania ever. I saw WrestleMania both days, so we will definitely talk about WrestleMania. We'll do that after I go to bed and get some sleep. We will talk about WrestleMania. But I want to get into this. And there's a reason I want to discuss this, because I thought I did already. But the thing is that I had this conversation with other people rather than, I think I kind of talked about it on another video I was doing, but never really titled it and kind of singled it out. Now, Emmanuel Acho made a statement where Taylor Rooks ended up having to come in and tell him that he was wrong and explain to him how he was wrong about what he said and how what he said was so wrong. But as he stated, it was his opinion of the situation. Now, even though it was his opinion, it was completely wrong how any of this took place. Yeah, absolutely. Here's where they got wrong. Angel Reese was asked a question. People asked a question to Angel Reese. Angel Reese was her final game at LSU. She's emotional. She just lost. This is it. So she's reflecting on her time at LSU. And she decided to discuss what she was actually going through while she was there. And people decided, oh, don't be a crybaby. Don't be a crybaby when she says she's been receiving death threats ever since she won the championship and was doing this, and she couldn't really enjoy it because everybody's sending death threats her way. And we're telling her, oh, stop crying. Everybody gets death threats. That's supposed to be acceptable? When we've seen what's happened to people, athletes in the past, and with psychos coming up doing things to them. We're not supposed to take these things seriously. I thought it was horrifying. that she would have to go through all that. It took nothing away from Caitlyn Clark's performance. It took nothing away from Caitlyn Clark doing what she did on the court. It took nothing away from her. Why do you feel that she did? She hugged her and congratulated her on the basketball court. So where did it take anything away from her? It didn't. Now, the problem here is people are using this for their own personal liberal agenda. Like, I don't agree with the fact that they decided to not be present during the national anthem. I thought that was not professional by LSU, because that's just going to be a thing that you don't need as another distraction. Again, sticking to the situation, what Ocho was saying, his comments were basically tone deaf, if you want to say. You know, he's an immigrant. And being an immigrant, he really does not understand racial issues. Some immigrants don't understand it. You know, they think they're above it, or it doesn't relate to them. Some people have that disillusion or disconnection. She can't take away the fact that she's a woman. She can't take away the fact that she's Black. So she can't take race and gender out of it. You just can't. Now, when you want to get serious and you want to bring things to the forefront, you got to start asking yourself serious questions so you can get serious answers and serious results. You have to ask yourself, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? You know, what is your main goal here? And the main goal is trying to make her look like a crybaby who was whining because she lost, which didn't make any sense to me. Like, why would she be whining because she lost the game? To me, it makes no sense whatsoever. Well, the problem with the situation is everyone who has an agenda decided to get involved. They took Caitlyn Clark and made her the conservative girl when she has nothing to do with politics. She's a basketball player. But the conservative people seem to believe she's the face of everything, so they want to bring her into the fray and make her the catalyst for their own agenda. So naturally, they don't like LSU because the liberals have made them used them as a catalyst for their movement. Like the LSU girls, the Black girls, it's white girls at LSU. But they won the first championship in school's history for the women basketball team. Well, I don't think the guys ever won one. Not for basketball. So when they brought it in and brought it there, you know, and did what they did, you know, they wanted to go against that. So everybody who has an agenda Yep. Everybody who has an agenda had something quirky to say or quirky to say or whatever, and that was just how they decided to move, with their own political agendas. And we seen people speak, and everybody was blaming like Joy Taylor and everything else, and they was like, why she didn't attack everybody else on the show? They felt the same way as Ocho. Ocho made a monologue doing that, and it was what he said that was the most egregious. That's why the focus was on Emmanuel Acho. Now, when I see the way society has pit everyone against each other and tried to put a wedge between teams and people take this attitude in the game. And if you're a player, sometimes you can get caught up in it. But these two did not. They chose, we're not going to play along with the media's agenda. But some people, like the fans that watch it, do. Black people was happy Caitlyn Clark lost. Like, yeah, she lost. That's what she did. Yeah, that's for Angel Reese. I'll be like, Caitlyn Clark just won a game, a basketball game against Angel Reese. She didn't do nothing to her at all. So you got to learn not to be programmed and get into assimilation to where you're pitting yourself against everybody else. That's the main problem. You have all of these people that's in the game today rather, their minds are warped because they don't seem to get it. You might be like, well, what they don't get? They get into a hate frenzy. You have all these conservative white people be like, oh, I just don't like her. Angel Reese, why does she has to do that? Because that's what she wants to do. You don't have to like what somebody else does. They don't have to do what you want them to do. And this is what conservative people have to understand. They don't have to move in assimilation. They don't have to do things that you like. There was nothing wrong with what she did when she won the championship. Like, get over it. That's over and done. Why would you be holding on to that? She's going to pay her back for what she did. She waved her hand like this. She was mocking her because that's what Caitlyn Clark has done. So, yeah, I heard Whitlock say, Caitlyn Clark, they didn't go after Shady and everybody else. They chose to go after this, and it's selective and everything else. And, he's going to attack anything that's not conservative. I know his stick by now. But when you start looking at it as a sport, then you can start taking it serious. Now, Caitlyn Clark is the greatest women's player ever in college basketball. No, she's not. She's an all-time great player. When you said before, ESPN was showcasing women just to protect the feminists. This feminist movement, women's basketball shouldn't be on start opening your show on SportsCenter. That was just a year ago. A year ago, when Caitlyn Clark was beating the NBA, the women's Final Four was embarrassing the NBA games. They had the highest ratings of any NBA game, the main featured game, LeBron versus Steph Curry. They were beating those numbers. But yet, you thought that ESPN shouldn't be focused on women basketball. Not only that, you thought it would also be a reason for them to ignore women's basketball. In fact, you thought it was a reason they should continue to ignore women's sports and women basketball. Well, here's one of the things I wanted to address mostly. Emmanuel Ocho, and I know what he wants. He wants to be famous. This is why him and Marcellus Wiley, not Wallace, fell out. You know, he wants to be a star. He wants to be his own show. He wants the show to be light. And, you know, like T said, he said Ocho really didn't make a lot of money playing NFL football. He didn't really have no big contract. He didn't really have it, you know, he wasn't like his brother. His brother, I think, got more paid than he did. So the Acho brothers. So for him, he's making his bones now in the media world, and he wants to be a star, you know, and that's nothing wrong with that. It's just that when you try to go for shock value and you try to go for an agenda base and call somebody a sore loser and try to say they're crybabies, you know, it sounds good, but who are you trying to appease? You can't be a crybaby after you was being the villain, and then when you lose, you turn into a crybaby. No, you guys made her the villain, meaning the media. She just was like, okay, since they want to give me the villain label, hey, I'm the villain then. But she never wanted to make herself a villain. What made her a villain? Y'all villainized her. That's why. Y'all villainized her and made Caitlyn Clark Cinderella. And everybody else was the wicked, adopted sisters. And that was it. Y'all villainized her. So the fact is, yeah, they lost the game, LSU. But she wasn't even 100%. She's playing on one ankle. She's playing on one ankle. No one mentions that. No one mentioned why Angel Reese was out there playing on one ankle. And she didn't take herself out. She came out the game one time when she got a block on Caitlyn Clark. Then she went back into the game and continued to compete. And her ankle was hurt during the conference finals. Nobody mentions that. I don't understand why, but they don't mention it. And these are supposed to be sports journalists. Now, they keep playing the clip of Angel Reese, but if you listen to the entire speech, she was asked a question to reflect. So that's what she did. She reflected on everything. And they said, oh, well, if she would have won, she wouldn't have done all that. Why would she do all that if she won? She would have to play another game. So why would you be reflecting and you still playing? Her career is over now at LSU because she was leaving. The season is over. So now, yeah, if you want to reflect, you can reflect. So I still, it's people's choice to choose to hate, or go into an assimilation of, since the liberals push Angel Reese, the conservative guys are going to hate Angel Reese no matter what she do. She ghetto. She probably come from the ghetto. You ever thought about that? She's not apologetic like everybody else. She's not You cannot like that all you want, but that's gonna get her paid. And it worked to her perfection. She's not apologetic to anything. So she just did her thing. Hmm. Yeah, she's already a millionaire according to her NIL deal. So what could the WNBA offer her that would be suffice? She's gonna be the number one pick. Unless Caitlyn Clark, well, she is entering the same draft. So they both coming out at the same time. So they'll go number one and number two. And then they'll continue their battles in the pros. Yeah, well, that's the thing. People made a mountain out of a molehill. And for Matt Barnes, Matty Patty. Here's the thing, Matt Barnes. For you to call Emmanuel Ocho on live on the air and try to tell him what he should have done, I don't even care what Matt Barnes had to say. Matt Barnes could have said the most accurate things and explained to him how wrong he was about everything in the world. You, Matt Barnes, look at me. If you ever see this video, Matt Barnes, you are the last person, okay, Glass House, that should ever utter any words of advice to a man talking to a woman or talking about anybody. Any advice should not be coming from you, Matt Barnes. No, anybody but you. Well, not anybody but you, because you got, Steven Jackson there with you too. Now, as we look here, look at all this stuff. Former NBA player temper gets him in trouble again. Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes' temper gets him fired again. Okay, that's when Kwame was going at him. Look, Karceno reminds Matt Barnes of who he is. All the arrests, you putting hands on women. Here you are again, spitting in a man's face and losing your job because you decided to spit in a man's face, so you were fired again. Then you comes out and do the video going at Shannon Sharp and not accepting responsibility for your actions with you putting your hands on a kid, somebody else's child. Right? This is just a history of Matt Barnes. So now he got sued for all the stuff he was doing. Look. Oh, and that's the video we doing right now. There you go. Matt Barnes lied on Rihanna. Said he dated Rihanna. She's like, I don't even know this man. Dude, you can't, Matt Barnes, you have no reason. You have no reason for you to be making any comments about anything. Let that sink in. This photo says it all, too, right here. That photo says it all. Matt Barnes, look. Matty Patty. You are not the guy, okay, to give any advice about a woman. You allegedly punched and choked a woman in a nightclub when you was with Boogie Cousins. Her boyfriend tried to get you off of her because you was choking his woman. And Boogie Cousin knocked that man in the next week. Almost broke his hand. Now Rihanna got a hit list. He's just another name on the hit list. But you fell in love. Like, yeah, we got something going on, me and Rihanna. And she was like, I don't even know that man. Yeah, because he was trying to be TMZ famous to get to where he is now. He want to be Hollywood. This dude would call TMZ and let them know, hey, I'm flying into town. He was on a reality show. So Matt Barnes know what time it is. He was on a reality show with his ex-wife that's now with Matt Barnes. I mean, now with Derek Fisher. Matt Barnes knows. He knew already what he wanted to do and what he didn't want it to do. So, no. Matt Barnes knows he's the last person. I know Emmanuel Acho wanted to be like, dude, you? What? Dude, you got fired from like where I work. You can't get on network television no more. You're done. You're done. In this business, homie, you are done. You are done. No, Matt Barnes knows it's over. His run is over. His time is over. Matt Barnes knows his time is over, man. I mean, like, nobody even takes this dude seriously no more. They got jealous at Shannon Sharp. They got jealous of Shannon Sharp because of what happened with the Cat Williams interview. We will be talking about WrestleMania right before Raw later on today, probably in the afternoon. We'll do a panel. We'll let other people come up and talk about WrestleMania 40 if they want to. They never turned the magnet ball on for Matt Barnes. That's true. But for him to give advice to Ocho, unless he say, don't be like me. If you ain't saying that, Matt Barnes, you shouldn't be talking. This man threatened his then wife's, well, not even his wife, the girlfriend's beauty stylist. The stylist. Why would you threaten the stylist? He threatened the stylist, y'all. Matt Barnes. Text messages. Oh, yeah, he loved text messages. So my thing is why? Mm-hmm. Let's take a look. His wife arrested after argument with Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes in a nonsense situation gets worse. Look at this. Matt Barnes and blackface and put blackface on his son. Why is anybody listening to Matt Barnes? Saying, oh, we're doing facial masks. Is that the facial mask you want? Well, with him, you already know what you're going to get. Gil's just going to give you some entertainment. You just know not to take him seriously at all. Right. Matt Barnes shouldn't be speaking on Ime Udoka at all. This dude should not even be speaking on Ime Udoka. All he did was cheat. He's the worst person to give any advice. Look, he's stealing ideas from Kwame Brown. I had to get my thoughts on his interview he wanted to do with Kwame Brown. Derek Fisher marries Matt Barnes' ex-wife, Gloria. And there's Matt's kids. They call him dad. They call Derek their dad. Derek is showing your kids, your two sons, how to be men. They're not learning that from you. They're learning it from Derek Fisher. Matt Barnes got caught begging and claims his account was hacked. Matt Barnes. Yep, they're riding the wave. Yeah, Matt Barnes and and Isaiah Washington traded words on Instagram. Matt Barnes decided it'd be a good idea to try to talk about him. Matt Barnes breaks his silence on Rachel Nichols and Maria Taylor. Yeah, he spoke about Klay Thompson. And then you got Stevie Jackson out here granny punching the doggone bag. Yeah, Barkley took jabs at them and told them they were hacks. Yeah, and then him and his wife 6 years ago was taking jabs at each other on Twitter. So this was way before the Kwame Brown issue. We was talking about Matt Barnes. Look at Matt Barnes. Look like he just got over here from across the border. Look like he just crossed the goddamn border. Yeah, according to his mind, that him and Rihanna was hooking up. Nobody should be listening to celebrities, period. They're paid yep, to act in movies, TV, on stage, etc. Not paid to tell everybody how to think or what to do, etc. Exactly. So my thing is stop taking these people seriously. Becky with the bad hair. That's why this guy should never give advice. Oh yeah, I don't think he's gonna do it no more because Showtime ain't paying him. See, he was only at these fights because they was on Showtime, and Showtime had boxing, so they got free tickets. Then he had his own little show, Fight City, and they send Steven Jackson, who don't do any boxing whatsoever, into the boxing gyms, and he sits there and talks to everybody. It's just baffling to me. Absolutely, man. Well, everybody wants to try to hold it together. That's the best thing you could do, is to try to hold everything together. No, I'm not mad. I'm just saying. That's why I wanted to address these guys. Matt Barnes, you're just not in a position to be giving advice to anybody. You don't call Emmanuel Ocho and give him no advice on nothing. I wouldn't even take directions from you. You make a left. I'll be dog. I got Google Maps. I'll find it. I don't trust Matt Barnes with nothing. He's a guy who's upset that he's part black. He just wish he was all Italian. But because he's part black, he hates it because he was picked on at school and everything else. But your black daddy, who was a real gangster in the streets, you brag on him. But you always put down other people and make jokes about black people. And use slang that white people use against blacks. That's how you know who they gravitate towards. When they start using insults that white people use against racials, I'm like, why would a black man or a guy that's mixed use a racial slur that white people use? Don't make sense. It's crazy. He looking like a B2K member. I know. I was saying, it looked like he just crossed the damn border. He gonna ship his ass to goddamn Venezuela. You swear to God he ain't from there. He'd be like, not from Venezuela, man. I'm from Sacramento. Yeah, okay. Well, they think like, oh, y'all chose him because he's safe. Chose the safe guy to go at. Now, Jamel Hill and all these people, they just want to use Angel Reese situation to find an angle to attack the conservatives and make a show out of it. You know, but what he said was wrong. Even in his own opinion, it was wrong. Because you can't sit there, in your opinion, she was being a crybaby. But based off the situation she said off stage, it was wrong. And for a black man to have a lack of empathy or a lack of understanding for a black woman to say she got death threats, and we act as if like we telling her to suck it up. Oh, just deal with it. She did deal with it. She dealt with it her LSU career, the rest of the whole year. So why are you telling her to deal with it when she dealt with it? She's giving you a reflection of what happened when the question was asked. So, of course, what he was saying was wrong. He was like, let's take race and gender out of it. I'm like, okay. Well, how you going to do that? When what she's being judged for, you know, what she was being attacked for was her race and gender. Shady said the same thing. Yes. Shady echoed what he was saying. But Emmanuel Acho did the monologue. See, it's like Isaiah Thomas and the Larry Bird situation. Right? You remember that? Isaiah Thomas didn't do it. Dennis Rodman was the one that made the comment about Larry Bird. Isaiah Thomas came in secondly, but because he's Isaiah Thomas and he just sarcastically said something, they came in and made it a whole big thing of Isaiah and Larry Bird. So Shady backed up the statement in agreement with him. But Emmanuel Acho made the statement. So he made the monologue. So that's why they put the focus and the attention on him. Because he made the initial statement. The initial monologue was his. They just backed it up. Of course I'm betting tomorrow. I bet today. Well, I told you guys when LSU lost that Dawn Staley was not going to they weren't going to let Caitlyn Clark dictate the outcome of this game. Told you that. Now, here's something that they should have been talking about that they didn't. They really harped on it a little bit, but got mad because you got, what's his name? Ticket TV spoke on it, though. Shouts out to Ticket TV. Ticket TV spoke on it. And he was the only person I saw that really did. If anybody else did, I'm sorry, I just didn't see it. But Ticket did when he spoke about Dick Vitale. Oh, she's a real diaper dandy. Oh, come on. You can be the GOAT and not base it on championships and titles. I think that is a horrible assessment by Don Staley. To say that Caitlyn Clark has to win a championship to be the GOAT, that's ridiculous. So, when they won the championship, Don Staley came out and said, oh, Caitlyn Clark, she is a GOAT. They made her do that. And I was pissed because what the whole thing is this. Name me anybody that's been in the conversation of the greatest players of all time and they haven't won the championship in any sport. I'm waiting. So what she stated was the truth. I was upset that she went out there and changed her whole thing saying that she's a GOAT. No, you're not. You didn't win the championship. You didn't get it done. Your team didn't get it done. So you're not going to be in the conversations of greatest of all time. That's how we view the GOATs. The GOATs got to have championships. You got to have a reason that you were the greatest of all time. The only person I can see, but they don't ever do it, and I say that was the best wide receiver in the whole football was Randy Moss. And Randy never won a championship. But he, to me, was the best wide receiver of all time. But they say Jerry. Jerry got like 5 Super Bowls. Jerry got all these yards and stats to go with it. So they're going to give it to Jerry. Oh, no, this new age, yeah, you do. You get a trophy for just showing up now. You ain't even got to be second. Everybody gets a trophy. Then what's the point? I know. They forget about Shamika Holclaw, Maya Moore, Cheryl Miller. Hell, Sue Bird. They forgot about Sue Bird. Sue Bird, I would put over Caitlyn Clark. So how in the world would you put Caitlyn Clark over Sue Bird? He said, "You are wrong. Ignorant behavior is supposed to be called out. That's the problem with young black people. They are not being called out for their behavior. It's classless and toxic." Ronald Graham, let's bring you up. I mean, what are you stating? What is your problem here? Ignorant behavior is supposed to be called out. What was the ignorant behavior? Expand. What is the ignorant behavior? I'm waiting to find out. He said, first it was thug, now it's classless. That's their new favorite word. What was classless? Not taking the L like a woman was classless. What do you mean? She hugged them, she congratulated them on the court. That's not taking the L like a woman or like a person's supposed to do. So, in your opinion, Sue Bird was not better. She wasn't better than Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn Clark was better than Sue Bird. She shows no class. She's too stuck on herself. Okay, that's what he's saying. Ronald says she, so I'm guessing he's talking about Angel Reese. She showed no class. In what? Last year's championship when she won, she showed no class. So when Caitlyn did it, she wasn't showing class. Are you talking about when Caitlyn Clark did this? That wasn't the class. You know she does that too, right? Of course. That's because South Carolina is deep. They dominated the offensive glass. They dominated rebounding. I was a horrible rebounding team. Them damn girls can't jump over a Dixie cup. And they cannot rebound with South Carolina. I knew they would get beat. This is the mistakes that they made last year. They did not make this year. They said, look, forget all those threes. We going into the paint and we going to beat the living hell out of them. If we miss, we going to get the rebound because we going to be in the paint. But we need to be there. We don't need everybody on the perimeter shooting jump shots. Get to the hole. If LSU would have done that, LSU would have got rid of them in a heartbeat. Iowa does not know how to rebound. When a black person do it, it's cocky and arrogant. Like we said, you don't have to like it. Okay? You don't have to like it. They're not in an assimilation to do what you like. What happened after this game? Did they go down the line and congratulate the entire Iowa team? Did she not hug and embrace Caitlyn Clark? Why is that not enough for you? That's what you need to ask yourself. Why are you stuck on what happened last year and not paying attention to what happened this year? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Iowa plays guards. They're small. They're not gonna beat. They're not gonna beat. They got UConn got robbed. If Paige played a better game, she played a horrible game. I mean, the Gamecocks played a really bad game as far as from a point guard standpoint. They had so many turnovers that they never should even had. That was a problem. I'm like, look, y'all problem is that y'all are turning over the ball far too much. It doesn't even make sense. I was upset with the turnovers. Turnovers drive me crazy, especially when they dumb turnovers. I hate when a team does that. And when the Clippers do it, I go insane because they do it in the fourth quarter. They just get real stupid and they can't handle pressure. And I just be like, oh, y'all ain't going to win championships if y'all playing like this. Y'all can't deal with the pressure. Yeah, it wasn't just that call. We knew they was carrying Caitlyn to the finals. But there's nothing they can do when you can't get the offensive rebound. And they're beating you on the offensive glass and getting putbacks. I think they were beat by like 30 in the rebound category. Hell, Angel Reese, who everybody said was sucked, who's playing on one ankle, had like 17 points and 20 rebounds on one ankle. Oh, she got popular just because she waved her hand. She was the she was the SEC's what? Player, the ACC what? Player of the year? For 2024, player of the year. Last year, she won a national championship. She won like every award. So I'm like, wow. They turned over the game. No, this would have been a 20-point shellacking. And this is why Iowa couldn't get back in the game. So they made Caitlyn Clark points irrelevant because you can't get stops on the other end. So if you can't get stops, what you're doing ain't going to matter. They shut down all those ancillary players that was getting all them extra points that they shouldn't have gotten. I'm like, this person here should never have 20 points in a game. How that happen? Like against UConn, she was shut down. She was shut down. Defensively, UConn was all over her, and they knew how to defend Caitlyn Clark. They didn't let her get in a rhythm. So those shots she was shooting, she was bricking. And they was about to lose. That's why she barely got 21 points. She got that at the end. She had like 15 points going in the fourth quarter. Well, the second half. Sorry about that. Oh no, they started off hot in the first quarter. Iowa came out and was doing, but the game they're too small. And once you go up against those big people, as when you get to the fourth quarter, it's over. Yeah, it was. It wasn't. It was like initial. The first quarter is a fill out round. You just trying to stay in it, and then from the first quarter, I saw right away what was happening. I said, oh, "Okay, I see what's happening here." I'm like, "Okay, I get it. They're gonna get worn out." And then, did you see how they were going to the paint? That's how UConn got back in the game. They figured them out. And I was like, oh, UConn finna win because they figured them out and they couldn't do anything anymore. So the refs had to get involved and start giving the ball and turning over, calling offensive fouls. It was so blatantly done and terrible the way they excessively went to doing it. It was like, man, y'all screwing the game up for no reason. Well, pretty much, when you see situations occur. Yeah, you see situations occur that you can go and make those type of assessments. But it's always when somebody they say they too arrogant because they confident or whatever, and it's like, I don't care, I don't have to come out there and do this and that. They congratulated them, and they still don't like them. But when Caitlyn Clark was doing all this, it was like, look at her, look at her, she got some flair, she got some style. It's all about who you like. Nobody said she was classless. I wonder why. I wonder why. Like I said, y'all wanted to see this. This is what they wanted to see, ladies and gentlemen. They wanted to see that so bad. Now they can't say anything. They can't say anything now. It's done. He said that didn't happen. Don't mind the talking. It's part of the game. Exactly. People get taunted all of the time. Man, what people like and dislike is two different worlds, man. So that's what I'm saying. Now that it's over, let's see how many of these people root for Iowa next year. Let's see all these conservatives root for Iowa. They love them so much. Let's see. Let's see how many of them are going to be rooting for Iowa. Man, Dawn Staley is like 104-3 since she's been there for 3 years. She's only lost 3 games since she's been there. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The whole nine. We did say black liberals. You might have just got here. We just said liberals in general. They used Angel Reese as their catalyst, just like they're trying to use Caitlyn Clark as their catalyst. And here's the thing: they're neither one are politically tied to anything. Caitlyn Clark isn't with all these damn people that keep sitting there. Yeah, that's right. You show that ungrateful, no good Angel Reese. How dare wave her hands in your face like that? So for them, that became the agenda. So they came all out talking about mm-hmm, exactly. Oh no, Iowa, this is the last time Iowa will be in the mix. They're gonna fall off real fast, and then everybody won't be talking about Iowa no more. They'll be talking about the Iowa caucus before they talk about the Iowa basketball team again, female or male. Now, South Carolina is going to be devastating every year. Don Staley is the head coach, because nobody in this game is a better coach of players than her, because she was actually out there on that court kicking some ass when she played. I watched her play. She was fierce. Well, the thing is, what do people decide what it is that they want to do, or what direction they feel that they should be going towards? These are the type of decisions that need to be made when people are talking about stepping up to the next level. Oh, y'all want to come up here and talk? I'll let you come up here and talk. I'll drop the link. Now, if you want to get up here and talk about the game or whatever, go ahead. The link is dropped. No, because people don't understand or realize that when you put people in their place, or you say, okay, this is the direction we want to go in or go towards, you have to be willing to back that up 24/7. None of these people seem to understand what we mean when we say these things. They seem to. Mm-hmm. I never. I've never been the type of person to sit there and say, Well, the way it's set up, I think the Paul fight is going to be a draw. Mm-hmm. Nobody cared. Yeah, put your money on the draw. Why wouldn't you? LeBron's 4-6. No, he's 3-6. No, I mean, I wanted to wait to see what happened. I want to wait and see how many people give South Carolina their credit. I wanted to wait and see how many people give South Carolina the credit they deserve. I wanted to wait and see who was going to do that. Nobody was doing it. It was all about honoring Caitlyn Clark. Nobody wanted to give them their credit. They didn't. It was all about honoring her. I wanted to see who was going to actually do that. Well, Curry helped her, like he didn't train her. Like that. Caitlyn Clark is a great basketball player. She is great. No one has ever said she wasn't. Nobody says she's a fraud. She's a bum. They just hyping her up. No, she's great. She's a great basketball player. She puts the work in. She don't cheat the game. She plays it the right way. She doesn't do anything on that court that she ain't supposed to do. Is she the best to ever do it? No. But she's a great basketball player. Great. It was called Iowa versus South Carolina. It wasn't called Caitlyn versus the entire Gamecocks, but that's what it's like. That's how you do it. Why do you think the Detroit Pistons beat Michael Jordan all the time? It's not our guy one-on-one fighting you. It's R5 versus you. R5 versus you. That's how it works. Ain't no one-on-one matchup. It's, LSU decided to make it a one-on-one goddamn game with a girl that's twerking and popping her booty, who has only hit like 3 shots the whole goddamn tournament. She better be in the goddamn trade, the transfer portal. She was talking about going to the WNBA. I'm like, whew. So you could sleep with some NBA players? Is that why you going? They didn't understand it. No, it was all about assignments. Our plays with just straight guards. That's it. They speedy down the court. South Carolina got a damn near 7-footer number 10. She finna swallow the paint. So what they did was put all these guys out there. I mean, guys, they had all the shooters out there on the court. Caitlyn Clark, they was up 10-zip. I was not worried at all. I'm like, all they got to do is throw it up, number 10, grabbing every board. Ain't nobody stopping her. I don't care what you do. Yeah, South Carolina got in their game. I mean, I would start running things early. They're not concerned. They have a 7-footer. They can just go right inside. They can't stop that. I mean, what you gonna do when what's her name? Cardoso? No, they were doing something that was unprecedented, right? All they had to do was throw the shots up at the rim. They got all their players at the basket. They're getting layups. Iowa is too small for South Carolina. It's not gonna work. That little girl Marshall could not. She could take that little girl Marshall to the bank. She went man number 12 for goddamn South Carolina was taking her to the basket every time she popped up. And at the end of it, was they gonna honor South Carolina and Dawn Staley and what she's done at this university? No, they weren't. The way they put this team together, this team is going to be devastating for years because she knows how to get talent. Because hell, I thought number 12 was a dude. I'm like, did they just get a guy and sneak him on the court? Because that's a move I see a dude do. Well, the game is physical. So by the fourth quarter, they got Caitlyn Clark running through picks. She's getting hit. Boom, boom, boom. All that. She can't stay with these girls. Defensively, they making her work. So when you make somebody work, that's gonna lead to opportunities, fast breaks, transition. And if they miss, guess who getting the rebound? They got like 3-6-5 girls in there. And y'all got these 5'5" girls in there trying to play. I mean, come on. It was like, are you serious? They bench scored 0 points. 0. Cardosa. I'm like, where the hell they find her at? You got a 6'5" Mexican. No. Offensive rebounding. That was the game. They can offensive rebound. And you cannot, if you cannot offensive rebound, you're not gonna win. It's gonna kill you. You can't give up 30 rebounds and get out rebounded by like 30. Well, it makes you confident to shoot the three when y'all know y'all got a 7-foot monster down in the paint. There is no one dominant scorer on South Carolina. You see, that's the thing about South Carolina. They're athletic. They're going to jump up, swat the ball, get in the passing lanes. There's no one dominant player. You can forget that. Everybody going to have like 12, 13, 11, 16. No one dominant player. It's a team. If Caitlyn Clark got it going, everybody else, they're going to be standing around watching this Caitlyn Clark show. But they're not letting Caitlyn Clark's game dictate the outcome. Our big core fed girl was no match for Cardosa. No, because they got, man, South Carolina got about 13, they got like 4 or 5 of those Cardosas on the team. They got a number 20 who just as big. Number 20 is just as big. And she dominated too. Got down in the post. These little girls, little guards, all they got to do is dump it down low. The girl pushed Caitlyn Clark. Yeah, they were real physical with her. I love that. It's basketball on the court. They vicious. Yeah, Caitlyn Clark kept getting her cookies stolen. She didn't like that. She's like, yeah, you ain't getting guarded by no little white girl now. You got a sister on you now. Sister ain't going for that. We ain't finna let you get in your groove. Sister was like, dribble, drips, rip. What? Cookies gone. Is Caitlyn Clark gonna dominate in WNBA? I don't know. They'll do a lot to help her when they get to that point. But a very competitive game, and then in the second half, you saw Iowa just fall apart. Iowa fell apart. The speed of the game. They had the bigs, but they was running Iowa. Iowa was tired. The speed of the game broke them down. They stood in it as long as they could, but it's just too much. South Carolina gets by, like it takes them 2 seconds, like 2 to 3 seconds to get from the inbounds to the other side of the ball. They got to score in like the first 8 seconds of getting the ball. Game was close into the fourth, but I knew the game was over because you can't out rebound them. Offensive rebound. Every time they missed a shot, South Carolina would get it right back. Then those girls on Iowa was getting so tired. You don't mind if your 3-point shooter's shooting, you got the boards. So if they miss, you're gonna be confident. They got tired, and on defense, people are missing assignments. And when you don't have a set score on the team, you don't know who the shooter. So you don't know who anybody can shoot the ball at any given time. Yeah, Don Staley gonna find the players. She know who can ball and who can't. She'll get them in South Carolina. That's what I'm saying. South Carolina finna run a dynasty. Long as they got that coach, the vision is there. Caitlyn Clark was just ineffective. And with like 8 minutes to go in the game, she only had 3 points for the remainder of the game. That's it. In the final 8 minutes of the game. So she's tired. These girls are physical. They're tearing them up, beating them on the offensive glass. That's how you dominate somebody. You physically just wear them out. They can't stop anything. If they miss, they got a rebound. And that number 21, that white girl go get the ball. I don't know her name. She was just there. I'm getting that ball. I'm like, go ahead, white girl. You get your thing on. Go ahead, white girl. White girl magic. I don't know, but Dawn Staley looked like she came out of a Michael Jackson Beat It video. She was like looking like Left Eye. And I don't want no scrubs. I'm like, what in the world is she wearing? I mean, it's not their fault. The girls from Iowa overachieved. They were the little overachievers. And they just couldn't get it done. You know, it was just, I feel kind of bad. Like, you knew where this game was going. It was not going to get better. It was over for them. And that was just that. But Dawn Staley, boy, looking like she came out that Michael Jackson video with that jacket on. I'm like, what in the world are you wearing? Yeah, Caitlyn Clark is going to be first pick, and then second pick will be Angel Reese. She'll be the highest paid player in the history of WNBA. Yeah, I was happy for Dawn. Yeah, Magic and Bird, not era. Well, see, you got to understand something. Even in the Magic and Bird era, it was different because you had oh no, when they want to hate you, they will. Oh my God. There is so much going on in the world that people don't know anything about. Well, when you start looking at the scope of it, South Carolina, they never gonna get the credit. I watched it. I said, well, let's see what happens now. WrestleMania was getting ready to start. So we said, all right, well, let's see what happens. We sitting there watching the game. And as we're sitting there watching the game, a mountain of things started to happen. And while people were watching the game, it's all about Caitlyn Clark. The media kept it about Caitlyn Clark. When she lost, it was, well, Caitlyn Clark, her last game. This is a sad ending for Caitlyn Clark. I know she wanted to, but she was so great. She will always be remembered. Nothing about South Carolina, just won, how great they were, how they played. Nothing. It was all about Caitlyn Clark. The national championship meant nothing. I wanted to wait to see what they were going to do. So that goes to show you, it's all about who they like. They didn't get the storybook ending that they wanted. So because they didn't get the storybook ending that they wanted, they're going to, no matter what, the outcome could be what it is, they're going to change the narrative. The narrative is going to fit their agenda. Because in the real world, that's what matters to them. It hurt a lot of people's hearts when they saw certain scenarios take place and you see your team win and everybody's watching it. You want to watch the highlight and no one's talking about your game. that you just won. They're talking about the person that lost and highlighting them. You know, it is what it is. I've often said that people make mistakes because they don't know what they're doing, but 9 times out of 10, people do know what they're doing. They know that they are making mistakes. They are moving in a way that does not align with the everyday structure of what they want you to feel like or be like. No. When you see the dynamic of how they lay things out and when things go wrong, LSU versus Iowa was the most watched female game in the last 30 years. Well, she said that she got controversial. She got hate mail. She just they were like, see, little Gabby Marshall got hate mail. Mm-hmm. No such thing as a goat with no chips. Exactly. No such thing. We've never name a sport where we say this is the best, and they got no championship. They don't even do that in NASCAR. You ain't the best NASCAR driver if you ain't got no cups. You can't. You ain't win Daytona, and we gonna crown you? No way. We don't care how good you could drive a car. You ain't never totaled a car, nothing. You're not gonna get that award. You are not gonna be honored. You're not getting that. So Dick Vitale was wrong. And the fact that they made Dawn Staley go out there and say Caitlyn Clark was the GOAT. She is a GOAT. I said, oh, why? Why did you do that? Don't give in to what they want you to say. That pissed me off. You said Iowa can't compete with UConn, LSU, South Carolina, or whoever else for the top notch. These female talented players. It's unfortunate. But Marshall and what she was going through as they trying to honor everything that was going on. And I love to speak on it because to me, for Dawn Staley to actually get that win with South Carolina, it meant a lot to me for her to win that because the way she balled when she played and everything, she just was incredible. And when she went overseas to ball, because hell, it was no WNBA. They had to play overseas. And she gave her life to this game. Right. I mean, look, Caitlyn, Dana Taurasi is amazing. Sue Bird to me was probably one of the best I've seen since like Cheryl Miller was out this world. They couldn't do nothing with Cheryl. And Cheryl was arrogant too. Cynthia Cooper was a great player. She was on the team also with Cheryl Miller. They had one of the most devastating teams ever. But Cynthia Cooper didn't really do, she wasn't really that standout until she got to the WNBA. And boy, oh boy, did they see what the whole world didn't know. They had probably the most devastating team in the history of women's basketball. I mean, you ever heard me talking about the Lakers? I'm glad you brought that up because I purposely haven't been talking about them. And everybody else has been talking about, man, you talk about the Lakers all the time. LeBron is. I haven't even talked about LeBron's show. I stayed away. I let everybody talk. I let everybody have the floor. Texas Tech, Raiders. Yeah, well, we want to see it. Well, that's how you make reality. Yeah, you make situations turn into your reality. You bend it and shape it and mold it the way you want it to appear. Right? They wanted that so bad. That's what they wanted. They wanted that image so bad. They hurt. They hurt. It's nobody else's fault. They was like Angel Reese was taking shots at her the whole time. That was just wrong. Yep. That's what the reality is. Now that's the reality. But they didn't want y'all to see that. They didn't want y'all to experience the reality. Right. They did it until they couldn't do nothing about it no more. There was nothing they could do. They tried to get that girl everything in the book. Could Caitlyn? No, they're not going to end up on the same team. Maybe one day, and but no. Caitlyn Clark will win a WNBA title. That's where she'll get her championships from. So instead of that reality, they wanted this reality. That was the reality they wanted. They talked about this and never spoke and didn't go into how great South Carolina and they run was. Don Staley has been there 3 years and won over 104 games with 3 losses. They had an undefeated season this season. Undefeated all the way. They didn't lose a game. Last game they lost was to Iowa last year. And that mistake wasn't going to happen again. I said it in my video. Watch the way they play. Caitlyn got more than I thought she was going to get. But I knew what was in store for her. Well, y'all having it out in the chat. The best today? If the Indiana Fever has the first pick, that's exactly where she's going. The WNBA is going to try to recreate the Angel Reese, Caitlyn Clark in the WNBA. And watch Adam Silver fuck it all up. Well, we're going to see what happens. Well, her team goes like 12 deep. That's because you have a great recruit, right? When you have a great coach, a great recruiting team, this is what it's about. See, the reality is this. They're the champions. That team are champions. She knows how, Dawn Staley knows how to find talent. She knows how to get the players that's going to ball. She knows how to get everybody in there because she used to do it at a very high level. She played international. She knows every set. She knows how other people play. So the style of the game has never changed for her. Let's change his name to Sue Bird. Sue Bird was amazing. I don't know what people are talking about. People forgot about how good Sue Bird was in the WNBA. Didn't she win championships? So when I say I don't put Caitlyn Clark above Sue Bird, I'm not just basing it off championships. Y'all act like Sue Bird couldn't do anything. Hell, I know some people won't put her above Rebecca Lobo. They'll take Rebecca Lobo. Lisa Leslie, Candace Parker. Tamika Cummins. You had Dina Head from them Tennessee girls. I mean, there's been some players in this game, and Oh, well, here's the thing. If you feel like you don't like Caitlyn Clark, Dana Taurasi she's still in the league? I thought she was out. Damn, she's still sticking around. Well, Dana Taurasi, she got real. The thing is when she got to the championship, it was a sad fact that it was over. You know, it was a known fact that this was going to be the case. Oh yeah, my buddy lost money tonight. I don't care about the Lakers tonight. Did LeBron play? No. So it don't mean a damn thing. He don't want to be out there when they got Rudy back. You got Rudy Gobert out there. You got the team ready to go. They rolling. No. No, it's not blatant hypocrisy. I don't think a lot of it is hypocrisy at all. You think Dana Taurasi hates her a lot? Uh, I just think that according to yeah, well, you got to win the championship. You know, that's just how it is. I know Auburn wish they would have hired Don Staley to be the coach. Well, they want to say she's Steph Curry. Well, they're right now the WNBA are getting ready for Caitlyn. What they're doing now is they are actually moving to a 20,000 seat arena now to accommodate Caitlyn Clark's arrival because now they can see the WNBA didn't pack in the players like the NBA game. So they were wasting money, like putting them like they used to play in the same stadium as the men's. Like the Knicks, they had their team, their female basketball team, the Liberty. They used to play in the Garden. And they was like, whoa, we losing a lot of money putting on all this lights and packing it up, and it's like 3,000 people showing up to watch the game, if that. We got to move this to a gym. You're throwing away money. I said that from the very beginning when I said, how do you fix the WNBA? Well, you got to stop overpaying them. You're spending too much money trying to compare them and put them in the category of the men. Treat them as what they are. They're an up-and-coming, struggling franchise. The WNBA has been around for over 20 years. Over 20, when did they start? They've been around since the past the 2000s. We're in 2024. 2024 and your league still isn't making money. What other business Yeah, they play upstate. They have to move. It's too expensive. So you're taking a loss every year on the WNBA. Then they wanted to blame the guys. Well, they don't promote the sport. No, your league, which your own, you want. That's why it kills me with this independent woman stuff. We're independent. How you independent? You supposed to be this independent, whatever, right? So you're so Miss-Independent. The WNBA, women's rights. We women, we empower. If this is the thing about woman power, you're owned by men. You're owned by men. Men. Men own the league. You're owned by the NBA. So there is no, this is it, women power. We're equal to the men. No, you're not. You're equal to other women. Not equal to men in basketball. If you were equal to men, you would be playing with the men. You're not playing with them because you're not equal to them. That's why you have your own league of women. It's not sexist, it's facts. So I want to make this clear so that people can know, so that they've been conformed with all of these ideals on what is what and what isn't what. The WNBA is owned by the NBA, men. So stop with this women independent power crap. You want to be independent? You and the women go start your own league without the help of the men. So don't say the men is hating on women basketball when it's your women are not showing up to watch y'all play basketball. So I don't want to hear that shit. It's funny to me that when the NCAA women play, men are right there watching it right along with the women. Nobody has a complaint. Yes, I sports bet. Nobody has a complaint. Yeah, women watch men play. Because why? Women like men. They want to see sweaty men, in shorts, and women be watching the ball game. Girl, look at him. That's what they do. That's why they watch football. They looking at guys' butts in tights. And I'll be like, I can't watch the game with y'all. Y'all gotta go in the room. Ain't nobody in here looking at nobody's butt. We're just trying to make sure his butt get another 2 goddamn yards. And they better get this first down. The women don't watch WNBA. So the thing is you women need to get your women to support your women's sport. And stop blaming men for your woman movement. Now, the failures, meaning that you got a person that's inept and developing your league because he's not trying to develop the WNBA. They created the WNBA because y'all was like, the women can play in the game with the men. There's some women that can play with the men, so they made this league so that they wouldn't be sexist. But they made it like they made the league to just say, shut the fuck up. That's what they made the league for. It was like, look, we gave y'all the WNBA so y'all can shut the F up, and that's it. That's it. That's what this whole league was for. It wasn't never supposed to grow. They thought this was going to be something they gave a tryout to. It was going to be around for a while, but now with the women power, women rights, and the breast cancer, now they use it as a tax write-off. They get all the sponsorship money for women's cancer, breast cancer movements, and all this, and they be like, look, we support women. We got the WNBA. We cares. We got all this. Like, come on. It's a facade. They don't put hardly any other support around it that it needs. And they were underpaying the women grossly. And the reason why they were underpaying them, they were like, look, they saying the league is doing this. They inflated those numbers, but they can't tell you that. But the women like, look, it's saying the league is making this. Why are we getting this less of money if the league is making this much? Because the league ain't making that much. They want to tell you, look, we're taking a loss putting this thing together. We ain't making this kind of money. This is what we got to report that we're making, so that we can hide money and move money around. Y'all is getting stupid out here. Man, I make more money than most of these WNBA players. That's facts. They wanted me to help sponsor the Chicago Sky. I saw Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade's going to be here. He's going to be one of the part owners of the Sky. I saw him when he came here for the meeting with the Sky. And I wasn't allowed to talk about or say nothing yet. So I was like, all right, let me stay quiet. He said to be a professional athlete and only make $62,000 a year. I know. Tell me about it. I was making more than him. And that's some. Some was making less. I mean, G League ball players, I was making more than them. This guy that played at the G League, hell, I put his drinks on my tab. We was at the bar. We had to put that on there like, damn, that's crazy. Yeah, we were downtown at right across from the Hard Rock Cafe. I forgot the name of that bar. It's a popular bar out there from the House of Blues. And that's where a lot of like athletes go. And sometimes when the House Blues close down, they're open. So people go there and, they go a show, they go over there and hang out. It's a lot of athletes coming there. But it's funny when they see me, it's hilarious. You got people that come in there and they try to throw on the hip hop facade, like, yo, what's up, dude? Like, yo, man, I was listening to J. Cole's new album. I was listening to Kendrick, man. Kendrick is tough, bro, man. I'll be like, Kendrick who? Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, who the hell is that? Oh, come on, man. You know Kendrick. The guy that made this, hey, DNA. I got this a little itty up. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's who made that? All right, cool. Yeah, that's a nice song. Oh, yeah, man, he's one of my, man, he's GOAT. I'm telling you, it's crazy. No, I didn't see them question her about that. You don't see how anybody could not believe in God. I don't see how anybody can not believe in God either. Yeah, did you hear Meek Mills scream "Get up" at WrestleMania? Get up! So when he was talking to The Rock. Oh my God, that meme has been sent to me all day since WrestleMania ended. But we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. She makes $4 million a year as a coach. She doesn't even give a damn about these players. Oh my God, it's all about the bag for her. Them college players are going into a sport being the best to struggle. Oh my God, who is this guy? She doesn't give a damn about those women. What is she supposed to do? Give them her money? They have NIL deals, so the girls get paid. You think she don't deserve the $4 million? She should have got more. She lost 3 games in 3 years. She's 104-3. You think she don't deserve the money? If they're paying her $4 million a year, how much do you think South Carolina's making off her? It's not her responsibility what everybody else do with their money. I'm just wondering what made you single out Dawn Staley. Let me guess. You was rooting for Caitlyn Clark. So you just chose Dawn Staley to target. She doesn't give a damn about these players. If it wasn't for her, those players wouldn't be on the team. She selected those players to come to the team. They wanted to. You think those players aren't happy right now? Yeah, he's one of the people that wanted to see this. That's what he wanted. Does that fit better for you? You wanted to see that? That's what you wanted to see, right? You wanted to see the American sweetheart, right? You wanted to see her get the confetti poured on her head. As a professional athlete who puts your body on the line, the WNBA needs to pay the players more. I was rooting for CC. Yep, see, I knew. It's cool. And she's a great player, but They lost to a better team. Well, if you're a professional athlete, then you should know that Dawn Staley was a professional athlete who played and didn't get any NIL deals. There was no WNBA for her. She had to go overseas and travel and play in places where they didn't even understand the language. They had to use translators. They had to play overseas. That was it for women. So she came from that to now getting $4 million a year as a coach. She's earned it. Leave Caitlyn alone. It's not Caitlyn's fault. They lost because they lost to a better team. If basketball dictated today what happened, or yesterday now, looking back at it, basketball dictated that. They got beat on the offensive glass. They could not out-rebound. They're too small. Same thing we told people before. They can't beat that team. So if you got somebody inside that's going to get the rebound, you'll feel real comfortable about shooting the three, wouldn't you? So you got, and plus they got good shooters on the team that could hit threes. And the team is deep. So you don't, if you're Iowa, you don't know who's going to score. You don't know who's going to shoot the ball. They don't have a primary person you got to lock down on. On Iowa, they know Caitlyn Clark is the guy in person, or the guy, the girl that you got to guard. And she's amazing. But they lost to a better team. And that's just the reality of it. And instead of being bitter and wanting to attack Dawn Staley and anybody, look, they won. Give them their credit. They were a better team. They played a better game. No matter who you wanted to win, give them their credit. Right? The same way you wanted Iowa to get their credit, say, hey, give Caitlyn Clark her credit. Right? Give South Carolina their credit. They won. Well, they cheated UConn to get Iowa, to get Caitlyn Clark in the finals, because they were going to lose to UConn. Oh, they did a great defensive job on Caitlyn Clark. She struggled real bad in that game. She could have scored 50 and 60. It don't matter when you're not stopping somebody on the other end. And if they do miss the shot, they got three people down there getting the rebound and putting it back up, because y'all got 5'2" guards out there. Y'all don't have any big people out there. They went three bigs in that game, and it was just wearing Caitlyn Clark down. She got so tired, she couldn't even do anything in the fourth quarter. She scored, like, she went 8 minutes and only scored 3 points in 8 minutes in the fourth quarter. She had nothing left in the tank. They kept running her through picks. She's moving from left to right on the court. That's what Dawn Staley wanted her to do. You're not going to be able to stand around. You're going to have to guard somebody that's going to be active shooting. You don't know who's going to be the one shooting, so we're going to keep her head on the swivel. We're going to keep her chasing the ball. We're going to kill on defense. She's going to have to work, and they were running her through picks. They wore her out. She got all her points early. She was getting all that stuff early. Late in the game, she was done. She was spent. There was nothing else she could do. What is this person talking about? Cynthia Cooper played overseas too. Then when she came back, she was a vet when she came back and played. When she was with Houston, it was all about Cheryl Swoops. Cheryl Swoops was the star of the team. She was the face. And they put Cynthia Cooper on the team to be the backup to back her up. And then it ended up being the Cynthia Cooper show. She was the vet, just taking these kids to school and showing them what basketball really was. Cheryl Swoops took a back seat. She wasn't what they was. She was not what they planned her out to be. Of course, Cardosa, anybody, they're too small. Iowa play guards. Like all 5 of them are like guards. And they were just running and gunning, like we're gonna run. You cannot outrun South Carolina. That's what they love to do. As soon as they inbound the ball, they pass half court in less than 2 seconds. Zip, 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 and they going straight to the cup. So you got no time to rest. You got no time to get your defense set. You're done. Caitlyn Clark has done, she done a tremendous job just by playing well. She's a great player. Nobody's gonna take that away. Well, I won't take that away from her. Let me not say nobody, because I'm telling you, I got people that just don't care. She white. She ain't great. I was like, damn, dog, really? Yeah. She ain't it. I'm like, I've had to hear that all day today. They don't give a damn. Caitlyn Clark, she can't get nothing. They won't give her no respect at all. I'm like, she can ball. Yeah, against other white girl. She ain't doing nothing with them sisters. Man, we ain't there. Shut her down. She gonna go to the NBA. They gonna shut her down. Watch. She overrated. She all hype. I'm like, my God, dude. Y'all just don't give credit to nobody. Yeah, see, I know people like that. I know people that think just like that. They don't care. If you ain't black, that's it. You gotta be black, and that's all they know. Dr. Umar Johnson? Oh yeah. He right away. You know that. Is she white? How could she be the best? If they had a black person that could shoot just like Caitlyn Clark, they would say that person could maybe one day back up a white player. Yeah, that dude is hilarious. Well, Cynthia Cooper was incredible when the WNBA first started. She was not what they planned on marketing, but she ended up being what they say, okay, well, let's go ahead and market this because she's incredible. Well, Paige, the thing is, Paige did a good job, not a great job. I wouldn't say she's going to get dominated when she gets to the WNBA. She can shoot the basketball. If anybody that can shoot the basketball like she can, I mean, she's had an amazing career at for women's basketball. But to see her lose, and the storyline ends with her losing, it shouldn't take away for her career. And the way they're treating Caitlyn is what I want them to do now, because they set the precedence now for every other athlete who don't win. If they were black, they say it ain't about race, but if they was black and they never won, that will be held against them for as long as they played the goddamn sport of basketball. You know it. I know it. Everybody in this chat know it. That is the facts. Hit the like button for that, because those are the absolute facts. If she did not win, right, a championship, anybody who was black who put up the same numbers, shot the same threes, did all these things Caitlyn Clark has done, and she did not win it, that would be held over their heads when anytime the discussion came up with her. They would say, well, she didn't win it. If they were black, they would have tore her down. And if anybody say something bad, they're jealous of her. Candace Parker. People forget about Candace Parker. She won it. Well, they give all the attention and the reason for the success to Caitlyn Clark. Well, the NCAA did not want to have a finals that did not pertain to having Caitlyn Clark in there. But Iowa beating LSU, UConn, and South Carolina, that is a feat that is way too hard even for them. How do you beat Caitlyn Clark? You beat her on defense. You beat her on defense. That's what you do. You beat her on defense. South Carolina showed you. You run that girl through picks. She can get her 30, but she's not going to score down the stretch when it counts because she ain't going to have any gas in the tank. This is how the Pistons used to beat Jordan. Wear them out. Pick and rolls, screens, everything. And by the time that fourth quarter come, they ain't got the gas. They were trying to call the Angel Reese versus Clark the Magic and Bird for the NCAA. That's the storyline they want to run with. Now they're like, oh, Angel, yeah, that's what they're saying now. She did that now because they lost. And Angel Reese put up the laughing emoji. She just don't like her, Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just what it is. She didn't win it. And because she didn't win it, now everybody is starting to see what this really is about. Caitlyn Clark can ball. All these women, right, that you see right here are great players. And she's going to take over. She's just in her first year. So in her second year, she's going to be doing some tremendous things out there. And to have that as your Final Four, and you saw great basketball play. But if you want to beat Caitlyn, you're going to have to learn how to close down. And like I said, Magic and Bird, that's how they made it. They were the new Magic and Bird. Angela Reese and Caitlyn Clark. And they used that and they pushed it. She's a liberal. The other one's a conservative. And they all got behind them and said, this is our person here. We're going to milk this all the way. Neither one have any political agendas, but here they are being used as pawns in this big scheme as everybody is locked in and they're making all this money off of it. The quick release. She was incredible. Why didn't Coach Iowa get Caitlyn Clark some help from the transfer portal? The thing is Iowa is not a big university. Nobody really wants to go play in Iowa. What do they have in Iowa? Nothing. That's why they normally get local people from Iowa to play there. Nobody wants to go to goddamn Iowa. I'm going to Des Moines, Iowa. Like, who the hell wants to go to Iowa? Unless you finna get some potatoes and you're gonna go over there and skin some damn potatoes, there ain't no damn way for you to be no reason to be in Iowa. So who the hell transferring over there? See, the only thing you're gonna find black in Iowa is the tires on the car. That's about it. He said that's Idaho. Well, hell, they the same. Iowa, Idaho, all the same to me. All that means is white. want some good corn, go to Iowa. Okay. One is out there peeling corn, the other one's out there skinning potatoes. Iowa got money. Yeah, and they ain't spending a dime of it getting somebody from the transfer portal. Hell no, they ain't. They'll get one black person on the team just to show they ain't racist. They ain't gonna be, look, we got a black person on the team, all right? So we ain't racist. Leave us alone.
Shots a game.
Cheryl Swoops in that clip right there lied at least 4 different times.
I love how they make these videos. The lies about Clark played 5 seasons. The lies about old Clarky. She got red shirted. Clark is 25 years old. The lies about her. She takes 40 shots per game. Oh my goodness. Well, how many of y'all have subscribed to the Karceno for Life Patreon? If you guys are subscribed to my Patreon, y'all in for a treat. As I'm going to tell you what the next video is going to be. Right now. For all of y'all are here right now listening, it says 425 people are listening right now. Here it is. 425 people. Y'all going to hear something right now. I'm going to expose. I am going to expose Beyonce Knowles' ghostwriter. I've been holding on to a secret for quite some time. I'm going to let you know who Beyonce's ghostwriter is. I've been holding on to this secret for a while. And now on the Patreon, you're going to see it. Oh, we got the proof. Absolutely. So we went 3 hours strong on this. So let me get ready to shut this down. The sun's about to come up, which means I need to go to bed. So let me start getting ready. I'm going to do my One Crack News video, and then I'm probably shut it down. And then don't forget, we're doing WrestleMania later on in the day. We're going to do the breakdown of that. So I'm out.